All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is Hump Day Hangouts with Semantic Mastery. This is episode 47. Today is the 23rd of December. So before we get launching into everything, we wanted to, as always, kind of go over announcements, do some housekeeping stuff, but we wanted to make sure you heard about the last chance here before we go public with our RYS Academy. So if you didn't get the email or you didn't open it or whatever happened, we're giving people who are viewing as well as our email subscribers 10% off. All right, and this is going to last until we go public. First thing on Tuesday. After that, it's gone, guaranteed. So if you want to, I'm going to pop the link up top to go check it out. And the code, which I will also put on the event page, is RYS viewer and then the number 10. That's all one thing. So we're going to pop those on the page. If you're interested, highly recommend you go check it out now. I don't know, Marco, if you want to fill them in a little bit more.
Well, we're just showing fantastic results. I mean, all across the board with keywords that are difficult. I mean, not just the low-hanging fruit, like we teach always go after the low-hanging fruit, but I mean keywords that have a lot of competition, and so if this is what you're after, this is the way to do it.
Yep. And one quick thing too on the coupon code, if you use it, make sure you type it in. Don't try to copy and paste. There's been some people having some issues with that. And if you haven't visited the sales page in a little bit, we added some updated live rankings on there. So why don't you go, please check that out after Hump Day Hangout. Stay here, watch the video, then go over there.
Cool. So I guess everybody else can say hi now?
Yeah, if you want to. Oh, yeah, there's other people here.
Oh, thanks, Adam. Hey, everyone. It's good to be here.
What's up, Chris?
Hello, everybody.
And yeah, as Adam said, RYS Academy, we're publicly launching it next Tuesday. It had really been just kind of like an internal thing with our subscriber list, and so this is the last opportunity for you guys to get it for any less than what the retail pricing is going to be. I highly recommend you go check it out. And like Adam said, we've been updating the sales page with some testimonials from people that have, some of our subscribers that have purchased, as well as some live ranking case. Some examples of live ranking stuff that you can go check right now for yourself to see. Quite impressive in my opinion. So go check it out. Other than that, we have one other thing we wanted to announce, which was here's a link. Adam, can you drop the link for the contest?
Sure.
We got here, guys. I'm going to go ahead and grab the screen because we're going to jump right into questions next anyways. So I've got this, we're testing out another application that we're using and basically encouraging a contest where we're giving away a free RYS Academy tuition, which is $9.97 retail, or 1 month. Second prize is a 1 month mastermind membership, and the third prize is an IFTTT SEO Academy. Basically, all you got to do is share. You'll get a URL that you can share, and as many times as you can share that, the greater your chances of are to win. So basically, it's a giveaway. We're trying to encourage you guys to share this with as many people as you can via social media, whatever methods you have, and we're going to be doing a live drawing on that next week. So the winner will get chosen next week. Okay. Yeah. Chris, do you have anything to add to that?
Yes. So, in case you bought the mastermind, not the mastermind, the RYS Academy, or you're buying it right now, don't worry. In case you win, we will refund you, of course. So you can still share it and try to win it.
Okay.
And the other thing for how it works is pretty much like you enter your name and your email, click the button to join the contest, and then you will see a bunch of social buttons like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and a couple more. And the more you share, the more points you collect, and pretty much the top 3 people will win something.
That's correct. So whoever gets the most shares wins.
Yeah.
So go make it happen. So with that said, any other thing we got to talk about, guys?
Yeah, one last thing. You get 10 points. You get double the points if you get somebody else to also sign up to the contest. So like not only the share, but if you also get somebody to sign up via share link, you get 10 points or double the points that you would get normally.
Awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. Very cool. All right. Well, are we good for taking questions now or answering questions? We got a lot of them already lined up.
Yeah, let's get rolling.
Okay, cool. First one is Brian Lichtig. He says the second tier comes from posts from Blogger, correct? Yes. Well, it depends. Tier 2A, yes. Tier 2B comes from Tumblr. Tier 2C comes from WordPress. So if you have posts from Blogger on the Blogger site already, will they carry over to the Tier 2 postings? No. They will only post from the moment that you connect your RSS feed through IFTTT as the trigger. Only from that point forward will new posts syndicate. It won't syndicate old posts. If you want to syndicate old posts, you either have to delete them and then basically republish them again, and that's pretty much the only option you have for that. So anything that you already had existing on your blog, when you connect it to IFTTT, it is not going to auto-syndicate everything that was there. It will only syndicate stuff that new posts that are published from that point forward. Okay. Okay. Chick says, I can't make it tomorrow, so wondering what range of fees do you charge clients for managing the IFTTT networks? That depends largely on what else I'm doing for them. Typically, the IFTTT networks for the clients that I manage are part of an overall SEO strategy, so it's kind of just rolled right into everything else that I do. Between content marketing, which is the blogging, curated content, and I outsource that, or ranking maps, building backlinks, social media, all of that. It's kind of all wrapped up into one. So I don't typically just have fees for managing IFTTT networks. It's kind of rolled into a larger SEO package, and that really. Go ahead.
It also depends on how many. I mean, if you have a huge network for a client, you would charge a whole lot more than if you were just managing a tier 1.
Yeah. Yep, that's true. And Chick, just so you understand, I mean, guys, my average for my local clients, which I know is probably less than it should be, is about $800 a month is what I charge for SEO services. That's my average. That's a mix, and again, that's an average of my overall client base, because I have some clients that have been grandfathered in at a very low rate when I started off doing client work 4 years ago that are still paying that rate, which, I mean, it sucks. It's part of the reason why I say I want to fire some of my clients, so that I can just, if I'm going to do any additional client work, I just go get higher paying clients. But, some of them are decent clients. They're not that much of a headache, so they're grandfathered in, and it's just maintenance work. But some of my newer clients, which I don't even take any new clients now, but the newer clients that I had picked up, they range $1,000, $1,500 a month. So an average between all of them is about $800 a month. And that includes managing the IFTTT networks, because every one of them has an IFTTT network, at least a branded Tier 1 network, if nothing else. But like Marco said, to Marco's point, is that if there's multiple networks, if you're doing video syndication for them as well, and they've got multiple video networks, and it could range. It could be a hell of a lot more. I know we worked on a project together, actually, Marco and I, for a while, that we had multiple. What did we have? Like, I don't know. We had 5 or.
We had 5 subdomains.
Yeah, 5 subdomains, each with their own networks, and we were doing content marketing for them, and that was like a $3,500 a month SEO client. So it ranges. It really does. It just depends, Chick. It's all across the board.
Yeah, it also depends if you're adding your network to SERP space. I mean, that will make your life easier. But I like to know what's the market I'm into, because it will depend on managing, but also how much the client will make on a per lead basis. Sometimes you cannot charge the same to a contractor that to a dentist or to a lawyer, for example. So that would be my intake on it.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, that's what you got to charge what the client's willing to pay, really. I mean, that's what it comes down to. That's why I don't have price points listed. People say, well, what do you charge for this? And I always say it depends, because I do custom SEO pricing. It's always custom package pricing. I don't do out-of-the-box prices, other than, for example, like building a branded Tier 1 network for a local client. I'll charge $7.97 for that. Okay, that's an out-of-the-box pricing. But for everything else, it's pretty much going to be custom pricing, so that I can charge what they're willing to pay, if that makes sense. So, Okay, Rick says, hello, thanks for your time and help. Do press releases still have SEO benefit? If so, what would be the proper use for them in conjunction with an IFTTT strategy? I still use press releases, Rick. I think they have more than just SEO benefit. They have traffic benefit too. And you know, they do absolutely have an SEO benefit. You got to be careful with how you create your links. Most press release distribution companies now or services will automatically no follow any of your links anyways, which, you know, I don't like that, because they've basically taken that ability for me to make the decision whether I want to do follow or no follow away from me. But in part they did that because people were using exact match anchors, and then their press release would get picked up by 350 outlets and republished, and all of a sudden they get a flood of exact match anchors and penalize their site. And so no follow links, you know, it's been that way for quite some time, but most all press release places now will automatically no follow all your links so that it can't damage you. But no follow links will still have SEO benefit. So, and in the event that you get a press release distribution service that will allow a do follow link, then you can use that very strategically to for SEO purposes, which, you know, that's always a great thing. But you can also think about with you can put NAP, name, address, and phone number, and in some press releases, companies will allow you to use structured data or some, you know, schema.org local business markup, so that actually becomes a very powerful citation. And if it gets picked up, most of the places that it will get picked up will strip the schema.org markup out of it, but it's still considered an unstructured citation, which is still very powerful for local. And besides just the SEO benefit of press releases, there is the traffic benefit, because press releases can drive a lot of traffic, and traffic signals are good for SEO as well.
Right. To add to what Bradley's saying, I still use them to kind of equalize a link profile. Sometimes you find that a link profile is way too over-optimized, and you can send out a press release, and, you know, even if they are no follow, if they are used correctly, you can use, you know, URL anchors. That's what we are doing anyways, and brand anchors.
Yeah.
Right. And they are also great tier ones. You know, when you're linking back to your money site or to your social profiles, like your branded social profiles, they are also great tier 1s, tier 2, and Google itself will show you which are the best press releases links to point links to. You know what I mean? Yep. So yeah, I use them all the time, and we do recommend it.
Well, not only that, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was about to say that some services will also allow video embeds. So that's another added point, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, and also if you have if you're using the IFTTTs, because that's the second part of the question, is how do you use them in conjunction with the IFTTT strategy? Well, a lot of you I'm sure are aware that we use our IFTTT networks as kind of like our buffer, our SEO firewall, right? So we use that to pretty much protect our main sites, and we do most of our link building to our IFTTT networks. However, there is a lack of IP diversity when that happens, because, and that's where press releases come in also, is to add IP diversity, because if you get picked up, if a press release gets picked up and redistributed to, you know, 350 different media sites, you're going to get a flood of IPs. So you'll have referring IPs, a much more diverse referring IP profile, which is also very valuable, because it's a term that is called pillowing. And in other words, you basically are cushioning your site from potential harm by using by diversifying your IPs, especially from a lot of those sites are going to be high domain authority properties, which is beneficial other than using like spam stuff. You know what I mean? So, but you just got to be careful with your anchor text, like we said. Typically, just use naked URLs or brand, and that's all you need to worry about.
You should also check how long your press release is going to be hosted for, because you'll have to do them on a regular basis. If for example, they only have 6-month hosting, 3-month, a year, whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and you should find that out. Usually your press release distribution service is going to be the one that like will stick around. Like, in other words, like I use Newswire quite a bit, and newswire.net, and they stay up forever there. it just depends on the service, but you need to find that out because, like Marco said, that's true. You don't want to distribute a press release and build a ton of links to one of the press releases or a few of the press releases to find out in 90 days' time that they're deleted from the database, because then you just wasted all that effort. You want to find the ones that stick and build links to those. So, but like to Hernan's point, they're great tier 1 link properties as well that you can use to build additional links to. If you can, especially if you can find one that will allow a do follow link, because then you can put a do follow link in it back to your money site, and then you can hammer the press release with additional links. So, okay. Lastly, with an IFTTT, by the way, a lot of times, guys, what I'll do with local clients with the IFTTT networks, if I do a press release, is I will republish the press release to their blog, which will then syndicate across the IFTTT networks. It's just additional links because it's a press release about them anyways. You just got to make sure that you put an attribution link to the original press release distribution point, which is going to be like, PR Web or ReleaseWire or Newswire.net or Press Advantage, whatever it is. Whoever originally publishes it, you've just got to make sure that you cite that source. Okay? All right. Sue, she says, hey guys, I have a few questions. If you have 2 or 3 playlists on one YouTube channel and you post to each of them at the same time, they will all be syndicated via IFTTT. No, Sue. Well, yeah, if you're uploading new videos, yes. If you're just adding videos that you already have on your channels to different playlists, that's not going to trigger the IFTTT. Is that a recipe that you can set up when added to a? Let's check that out. I think I've got that open.
I think that you have recipes for watch later and liked videos. I don't know if you add them to a playlist.
Well, watch later is a playlist, but
unless you're using the playlist feed, which we know that it will strip out the entire video content.
Yeah,
take a look.
This is showing new liked video, new watch later video, which is a specific playlist. And then there's new video uploaded by you. So those are the 3 actions, or the 3 trigger actions. So yeah, unless you're using a playlist feed, RSS feed as the trigger, which then again, I haven't done a lot of testing with it since the APIs changed with YouTube. I'm not sure that it's still doing embeds when you do that. Is it?
No, I think they are plain links, unless you're syndicated to something like Wordpress, which will
convert
it. Or doing a video post on Tumblr, where you just post the URL for the video.
Right.
That will do that. That will translate that link into a video, but they are mostly links. Not embeds.
Which is, so honestly, I don't do that. I syndicate the video when it gets uploaded to my channel or live streamed, depending on what I'm doing. Most of the time I live stream stuff anyways, so it gets syndicated then. When I add it to the playlist, that doesn't do anything other than add it to a playlist, which gives me additional siloing opportunities. Okay. So Sue, again, I'm not sure what you mean by will they all be syndicated via IFTTT, because the syndication happens when you upload or live stream the video. When you add the video to your channel is when the syndication happens. Anything beyond that is just stuff that you're doing internally inside of YouTube, which will not affect or syndicate at all. Okay. If you post 1 or 2 videos each week to one playlist, you will end up with over 100 in a year on just that one playlist. Is this too many? No, you can have unlimited videos in a playlist, Sue. Just make sure that it's themed. There should be a common denominator across all videos in a particular playlist. It should be themed. It should make sense. It's like a category, in other words. Okay, or a silo. Number 3, should you post all these videos to the associated website? That's up to you. It depends on your strategy. It depends on what you're doing. If you're using a associated website or companion website, whatever you want to call it, as another distribution point, yeah, you certainly can. I will typically, if I'm using the YouTube silo strategy, then a lot of times I'm doing a bunch of supporting videos that I really don't care to be out there on the web. I'm just using them for internal linking purposes to reinforce the top video that I'm trying to rank, which is usually the silo head. So a lot of the times those videos, by the way, you can actually keep those videos to unlisted and it will still that internal link juice will still flow. That way they're not in the index. But you know, it's up to you, depending on what your strategy is. Because a lot of times I'll use like spammy type videos for that, because I'm just trying to reinforce the theme of the silo using the playlist and interlinking between the supporting videos up to the main video that I'm trying to rank. You guys know what I'm talking about. You should, if you've taken the YouTube Silo Academy course, it's $7. Go take it if you haven't, because it'll show you how to use playlists and then use internal linking within YouTube to reinforce the theme of the playlist and to basically use supporting keywords and supporting videos to rank your main keyword. Okay? So again, a lot of the times if I'm doing that, I will not post all of the supporting videos to the associated website. I will post just the main video that I'm trying to rank, the money video, right? That's what we'd call that, right? The money video. I would publish that to the associated website, and then I would use the additional supporting videos as internal linking, like basically supporting articles to reinforce that money video. Okay, and I would not post those to the associated website. But again, it's entirely up to you. Number 4, is it a good idea to match the playlist in YouTube to the categories in an associated website? Yes, that's what they call theme mirroring, right? That's another term, but essentially, if you create the silos on your channel using playlists, then you would create or match the categories on your associated website. Okay? It's the same thing. It's just like, that's exactly why we call it YouTube Silo, because it's the same thing as siloing a website. Number 5, can you recommend any video creating software? Thanks, heaps. We've got a few, Adam. I don't know if you have any links ready. Which ones do we recommend? I know we've got
what she's wanting to do, Sue. We'll pop a couple in here, but I mean, we assume you're talking about stuff like Video Maker FX, Explain.io,
Video Sketch Pro.
Yeah, I mean, it depends if you're trying to do like video sales letters, are you wanting animated stuff, or are you wanting something beyond that? So we'll pop a few in here and you can check them out. They're all solid. It just depends what you want to do with them.
Yeah. I outsource my video stuff for the most part, unless I'm just recording like sales videos or screencast videos, which I do a lot of anyways. But for like you know, client videos and things like that, I outsource it, or I use PLR videos, because I just don't. Honestly I don't like playing with all those different softwares and trying to learn them. It's just too much of a learning curve, and my time is better spent ranking the videos than it is creating them. So personally, I always recommend that you just find a good video editor or video producer, which you can find on like Upwork, which formerly Odesk. That's what I use a lot, and you can find a good video producer on there that you can pay relatively inexpensive and have them do the work for you, and it comes out much better quality than you could do on your own, unless you're into that sort of thing, which is entirely up to you. Personally, I'd rather take the time and spend my time ranking the videos and doing the SEO, which I enjoy, than trying to produce videos that are going to end up not being the top quality anyways, because that's not my particular strength. So there's lots of other options there. Outsource what you're not good at if you can. So Gary says, hello, I have a couple of questions. What is the best way for our outsourcers to get Google accounts? I have one that is struggling. Says that want to verify on his phone. Won't this cause a footprint if multiple accounts use the same phone number? Yeah, you can't use the same phone number across multiple accounts. You might be able to get away with 2 or 3 accounts, and that's it. It'll say no, it's been used on too many accounts. Gary, I don't know if you've taken the IFTTT SEO training, but there's a couple ways to do it. If you're using outsourcers, if they're in the Philippines, they should go out and get SIM cards. That's what our team does, and they produce. What are we're doing dozens of networks per week now because of our service, and that's what we use. Is our Philippines VAs use SIM cards. So essentially, they get new phone numbers every time they need them, and it's very inexpensive and it's very effective. There's a couple other ways to do it. You can buy burner phones. There's one in particular that Valerie Tobin, who's a member of our IFTTT SEO Academy, she posted in the files section of the Facebook group if you're in there. If you're not, well, join, and then you can get access to it. But there's in the files section, she posted a way where you can go to Walmart and get a cheap phone, like a disposable phone, and then you can buy the recharge cards or whatever, and just basically change the number anytime you want. It's a very inexpensive way. It's very effective. There's also a couple other ways to do it. Using like Burner app is a burner app, which is like an Android and an iPhone app that you can download that you can get numbers. I actually was testing that earlier today, believe it or not, and I had trouble verifying a Gmail account, but no trouble at all verifying a YouTube account with a burner app number. So I'm curious as to why I couldn't verify a Gmail account. But once I did verify the Gmail account, I was able to verify the YouTube account from the same Gmail account with the burner app number. So I know it's becoming more increasingly difficult. There's also some places that you can purchase phone verified accounts, and sometimes that's the best way to go. What was the place, Hernan? We just looked at that page the other day. Do you remember what I'm talking about? There was a phone verified accounts.
Yep. I'll post the link.
I think it's buyaccounts.com or something like that.
See, it's by ACCS.
Buyaccs.com. Yeah, it's something like that. You can buy phone verified accounts.
Yeah, but it's a Russian site, so you need the link to pay with PayPal. Otherwise, they won't let you. So I'll just put the link on the events page with the PayPal alternative. Make sure, guys, that because it happens to me before that you bind the accounts that they send to you to your IP or your VPS IP, whatever your outsourcers are working in, because otherwise they'll trigger a double verification and you're pretty much screwed. So
yeah, so what Hernan is saying there is after you purchase these accounts and you get them delivered in the text file or whatever that they deliver them in, make sure you're at VAs, because you can send these over to your VAs and then just make sure that they log in immediately with their IP, or if they're using proxies or a VPN, whatever, through whatever method that they're using, make sure that they log in immediately, which will bind that account to their location so that they can continue to use that account while they're setting up their networks. All right, and because otherwise, like Hernan said, if you go for even a few days without actually logging into the accounts, then they will trigger a re-verification when you try to log in. It has to be done very quickly. I don't know what the threshold is, but we typically recommend within 24 to 48 hours that you log into the accounts.
Yeah, well, you know, it can be done with something like iMacros or for Firefox. I have developed a quick macro, and I'm not a coder, but I have developed a quick macro that will basically do that. You know, log in, log out, flush cookies, log in, log out, flush cookies. That's all it does, and I'll just paste the list that they send you onto an Excel. And that's pretty much it. You know, you just leave it running in the background, and you can go through 200, 300, 500 accounts in a couple of hours if you let it like that.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so why don't you use Weebly as one of your main Tier 2 sites for IFTTT networks to see other promoting as a site, see this, Fiverr, blah, blah, blah. Okay, because we have tested that, and the video embeds don't work for Weebly, and because of that, you know, you can use it. You can use Weebly, especially as an as a RSS or a blog syndication site. So that essentially, if you can syndicate content to it via RSS, but it will still strip the video out. And since most of the stuff that we teach is about doing this for videos, it can be used for blog syndication. By all means, set it up and use it. But you guys don't need me to set up a training video to teach you how to set up a Weebly site. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Go in and set it up. Set up an RSS recipe using an RSS feed as the trigger to post to Weebly, and then you can post your blog content. That's fine. It will re-syndicate. But just keep in mind that videos get stripped out. Okay? And if all you're looking for is blog syndication, then by all means do it. Yeah, it's certainly a helpful site. I love Weebly. It just doesn't work well with videos, and so that's why we didn't put it into the training. Most people in the IFTTT training are there for video syndication or a combination of video and blog syndication. And because of that, I know that there'd be a million freaking support tickets and requests for why isn't this working, so we left it out entirely. Okay? So... But yeah, you play with it and try it out. I mean, if you figure out a way, please by all means share it with us, because my team that creates the networks tested it for about 2 weeks, tried different variations, and couldn't get it to work properly. So that's why we never actually added it into the training. But if you find one, or if something has updated since then, and you guys find out that it is working, let us know, and we'll do the training on it. But until then, we're just going to omit it altogether. Okay, Jeff says, question 1, is it a bad idea to use the same Tier 2 ring to juice more than one Tier 1? Not necessarily, Jeff. As long as it's in the same ballpark theme or industry, there's no reason why you can't use it for more than one. Okay? There's no reason at all. If you want, you can So here's an example, guys. If you create, let's say that you do a lot of stuff in the home improvement industry. I do a lot of stuff in the home improvement industry. So let's say you got a roofing client, you got a plumbing client, you got an HVAC client. If you have a set of second-tier networks set up, let's just say it's one second-tier network set up. So you have three, right? It would be fed by Blogger, Tumblr, WordPress, right? So there's 3 tier 2 rings. You could have all 3 of your clients, what did I say, roofing, plumber, and HVAC, you could have all 3 of those feeding into the same tier 2 network. It would be fine. It would make sense because it was home improvement related. I just wouldn't have like a dentist ring feeding in with a roofer ring. That really wouldn't make any sense. Okay. In fact, that actually might make sense if you were doing like a geographic, like basically if the common denominator was a particular location. Like, for example, a lot of students have asked about, well, look, I want to build out networks based on a particular city, and I want to rank all different kinds of businesses within a particular city. Well, you can do that too. It's more work. That's a hell of a lot more work than trying to theme down into a specific industry because you have to constantly do new keyword research. You got to learn the pain points and the marketing signals of each one of those different industries. Always recommend that you niche down and you get really good at a particular industry because you'll be able to scale quicker that way. But if you wanted to, and you certainly can, it's entirely up to you. Just know that it's more work. But if you wanted to go after a particular city and just do video SEO services for any business at all, then you would theme your networks around a particular location, and that would be the common denominator of the network. So in that case, you could do something like a dentist and a roofer feeding into the same tier 2 network because the tier 2 network could be themed after like Atlanta, Georgia, for example. Okay? You're going to get better results, and it's going to be easier to scale if you stick with industry themes. Okay? Just so you know. But you can do it the other way. It's just going to be more work, and it won't be quite as effective. Okay. Let's see. We're funneling everything from Tier 2 into Blogger, WordPress, and Tumblr. What backlinking is best for the other Tier 1 properties? Just social? No, you can hammer, your Tier 1 properties, you can backlink to those, but just try to keep them higher quality links if it's Tier 1. You can hammer away at your Tier 2 stuff. Do that. You can use SCS Networker, GSA, SendWire, Money Robot, whatever you want. You can use any of those kind of spam tools if you want direct to your Tier 2 stuff. To your Tier 1 properties, though, I would recommend that you go with you can go with PBN links. You could go with you could also use SendWire and things like that. Just try to keep it higher levels of higher quality links to your Tier 1 instead of don't just do straight spam. Try to keep stuff that's a bit higher quality. Okay, right. And careful with your anchor text ratios, guys, on Tier 2. When you're building links to Tier 1 links, careful with your anchor text. You want to go with broad anchors and URL anchors and generics. You don't want to go with exact match anchors as Tier 2 links to your Tier 1 properties because it looks really unnatural. Right. You want to add to that?
Yeah, I was about to say that PBNs work great as Tier 2 if you're using for example, your WordPress.com or your Twitter profile with PBNs that work great. As we see on RYS and on the Mastermind site also, as a Tier 2 works great. But also, Jeff, have in mind that Tier 1 properties are additional money properties. If you have them laid out correctly and if you have them branded, you can get them to rank and they can generate leads and sales for you. So have that in mind, Jeff, that's why we don't recommend spamming them, as you would with, with a Web 2.0, for example.
Yeah. Leave the spam out to Tier 2. So they would essentially be Tier 3 links. You can spam right to your Tier 2, but don't spam to your Tier 1. Right. Okay. I'm assuming services like backlinksindexer should be limited to Tier 2 and Tier 3. No, I don't agree. I use backlinks, backlink commando and backlink indexer. We got a post on that where we discuss how to set that up, but it automates extracting all the post URLs from our Tier 1 networks as well as Tier 2 networks. and submits them to an indexing service. It can be backlinksindexer. That's what we recommend, but there's other services like 1 hour indexing, link pipeline. There's a couple of them that you can add. But I extract the post URLs. It does it all automatically, and then submits from the tier 1 networks, and then submits them to the indexers. It just helps with everything. So I mean, I don't submit money site posts to indexing services, because that would be direct to the money site using indexing services. So I don't do that, but I do use the backlinks indexers for my tier 1 post URLs that come from like WordPress and Blogger and Tumblr, and any of the properties that provide an RSS feed output will get automatically submit all the post URLs to indexing services like backlinks indexer. Okay, it just kind of speeds the process of getting those links to count. Okay, Daniel says, if we add a companion WordPress site, Semantic pinvid pro theme, good choice, to an existing IFTTT YouTube channel triggered network, are we meant to use its RSS feed as a trigger to a second tier, or just an additional syndication site? The companion site clearly helps, but to what extent, as feeders or just repositories, should they be used when adding to an existing IFTTT video distribution or RSS feed network? Great question, Daniel. Great question. Okay, so an associated website, guys, if you have one and you're using, and the Semantic pinvid pro theme is an absolutely outstanding site for that, or WordPress theme for that, because it's marked up. It's correctly marked up by Kevin Pauly, Network Empire. He's really good at semantic stuff. So that's a great theme. I actually use it myself. What I recommend doing there, though, is creating the branded network. If you already have a branded network, I would shift that to the companion website or the associated website, to where your RSS feed triggers the branded network. Then I would set up secondary networks that can be persona-based around your YouTube channel. Because essentially, when you guys, if you set up an associated website and you're going to be using it, I would shift the focus from the YouTube channel to the site, because you have ultimate control over the site. Granted, if your YouTube channel gets shut down for whatever reason, you're going to lose all the videos on it anyways, but you can build authority to your website, your self-hosted WordPress website. So I recommend that if you're going to be using the associated website, guys, that you shift the authority building over to your website and away from YouTube, or do both. But for YouTube, you just use persona-based networks at that point and use your branded stuff, which would be triggered by your main money site. Is that clear? Hopefully that's clear. By the way, that's in our knowledge base. Adam, I don't know if you can dig that out. That's a question about if you have a branded YouTube channel and an associated website, should you be posting?
Yeah, I'll take a look. I'm sure we have it, so it may take a few minutes while we're doing this.
Okay. Yeah, it's in our knowledge base, our frequently asked questions, guys, which is support.semanticmastery.com. There's a knowledge base in there, and it's in the IFTTT SEO category. You'll find in there there's actually I think we did a more in-depth answer to that. But that's a great question. But like I said, I would just recommend that you shift it over to where you take your branded network away from your YouTube channel, attach it to your WordPress website, use the RSS trigger recipes, and then you just set up brand new persona accounts, networks, to be triggered by your YouTube channel, because all you're looking for there is the push for the embeds. It's the boost to the video SEO. But you'd want to be pushing the authority back to your main money website. Okay.
And I'm posting it on the page right now. I think I found it. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam. Camaria Hill says, hi, Bradley. I've set up the IFTTT networks, but they won't trigger when I upload a video. They are connected properly, but nothing happens when I test them, even though they say they are working. Well, Camaria, then I have news for you. They're not connected properly if they're not working. Sorry, I don't mean to sound like a dick, but if you have the YouTube channel connected to IFTTT and activated, the proper YouTube channel, and then you have your recipe set up properly, then when you upload a video, it will work. Okay? If it's not working, there's an error in the process that you set up somewhere, unfortunately. IFTTT support says that I'm hitting the YouTube rate limits and need to narrow my criteria by using a more selective search, but I don't know what this means nor how to fix. Yeah, I've never heard of that, and besides, when you're uploading a video to your channel, unless you're uploading hundreds or dozens or hundreds of videos per day, I don't even know that there's a limit on that. I've never heard of that, okay? So, just to prove it, I'm going to do a quick demo here. This will take a second. Let's see. Let's do this. Because I actually had a network that I was working on earlier, and that's why I have all this open up, because I saw your question earlier, and there's a network that I was fixing up that was from something old that I hadn't used in a while, so I decided to set this up as kind of a test. So let me do something real quick. We're going to say, create a video. This is test number 2. That's a nice short video. And let's run through this very quickly, because I get questions like this often, and I just want to prove that it does work. So just a moment. This is test video number 2. It's been uploaded, or all I got to do. This is a channel that I set up today that already had a partially completed IFTTT network. I had to rebuild the Google account. This is the one I was talking about earlier with verifying burner app. And so if we go take a look at this, we go to IFTTT. Let's go up to the top. We'll go to channels. I'm going to say YouTube. Okay, here's the YouTube channel. This is a persona channel. It says Jennifer Newton. Okay, so the channel is connected as Jennifer Newton. This is the Jennifer Newton channel. Let's go over here. I'll prove that. Creator Studio. View channel. This is the Jennifer Newton channel. Okay, so I'm going to click Upload. I'm going to have it set to public. Here's test 2, which I just recorded. Open the file. Test 2. Test 2. Okay, I'm going to say publish. It should be done in just a second. There, it's done already. So here is the video, test number 2. You see that right here? Okay, and now I'm going to go over to IFTTT, and I've only got a couple recipes set up, but it's enough to prove that it works. So I've got app.net, Delicious, Digo, Tumblr, WordPress, and Blogger. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and click on app.net. Click on check now. You'll see that it says last run 6 hours ago. It was only run one time. If I click check now, watch this. Say recipe checked. Last run less than a minute ago. It's run 2 times now. If we click on this, we open this up. We're going to see, what do we see? It says test 2. Now there's not a URL here, so I need to modify that recipe because it's not showing a URL. In fact, I think we have to use app.net as a tier 2 recipe now because of the YouTube change. But let's go over here and we'll check on just a couple of them that do work. So for example, we'll go to Tumblr. It says last run 6 hours ago, run 1 time. I'm going to click check now. Now it says run less than a minute ago, run 2 times. We open up the Tumblr blog. What do we see? We see test 2. You see that? And in Blogger should be set up as a tier 2 recipe using the RSS feed trigger, because for some reason the embeds don't work anymore direct to Blogger from YouTube. So I have the RSS feed from the Tumblr account as the trigger for Blogger. So let's click on this. And you'll see it says last run 6 hours ago, run 1 time. If I click check now, and you can see right here is the RSS feed from Tumblr, right? So now if we go take a look at the Blogger blog, which is a brand new blog, was just set up today, you'll see test 2. And I coded an attribution link in here that points back to the Tumblr blog. So it absolutely works. Kabir, I know that was a little bit lengthy, guys, but I wanted to prove that because I can't tell you how many times we get people that submit questions or support questions saying, I got everything hooked up right and it doesn't work. Well, then it's not hooked up right. That's really what it comes down to. So Camaria, I would recommend that you go through, make sure that you have the proper YouTube channel connected. Maybe you connected a channel that you're uploading to one channel, but it's not the one that's connected to IFTTT. If you're absolutely sure that it is the right channel, then I recommend that you go back into IFTTT, go to channels, go to YouTube. Do this with all of them, but let me just show you. Go to YouTube and click the reconnect channel button. Make sure you're logged into that YouTube account in your browser when you go to reconnect the proper YouTube channel that you want to push videos from. Click reconnect. It will ask to reauthorize. Sometimes you need to reconnect channels because there's an error when it connected the first time and it doesn't show. Lastly, the other thing that you would do is make sure that your other properties are connected properly. So like if you go to WordPress, Click on that, and you click Reconnect Channel. Make sure you're logged in another tab in that same browser. And just go through and reconnect all your channels and try it again. Okay? Anyways, hopefully that helps. Caesar says, hi guys, I'm going to pitch a plumbing company in my local area tomorrow. I want to offer them something that will bring some instant gratification because they've already told me that they've been burned by another SEO agency in the past. My plan is to soften them up by offering to rank a video or two for them and then upsell other services such as SEO and IFTTT networks. My question is, how can I rank videos fast if I don't have an authoritative YouTube channel? I'm currently waiting on delivery of IFTTT network, which I'm going to use around a YouTube channel designed to rank local businesses. However, that is a new YouTube account that hasn't been seasoned, so I'm guessing it's going to take a while to build up authority to the point where I can rank a video instantly or within 24 to 72 hours. Okay, so here's the deal. What I would do in this case, Caesar, is I would, first of all, make sure that you create a video that has like a tracking phone number or something. Like I don't know. It depends on how important this client is to you. Personally, what I would do is I would set up a generic plumbing type video, and I would try to rank for something really long tail, like plumbing repair service, city name, and then a zip code, because you're absolutely going to rank for that. It's even without an IFTTT network or whatever. If you have a long tail keyword and a zip code, and that's what you use to show them that you could do it, you're just trying to show them that you have the ability to rank stuff quickly. You don't have to go after a top money keyword. In fact, I wouldn't do that as a foot in the door strategy, because you're doing a shit ton of work for somebody and you're not even guaranteed to get the sale. But I would, if you're going to do something like that, I would make sure that it was generic enough and had your own tracking phone number in it or something, so that you don't put the company's branding on it, because if they don't end up paying you, then you just did work for nothing. If you have your own generic video that you could use as a lead gen video, and you end up ranking it, and they decide not to hire you, then you could use that to for somebody else. In other words, so you don't have to repeat the work. The work's already been done. So hopefully that makes sense. But I would keep it generic enough to where it could be repurposed to not just them, but to other companies in case they decide not to hire you. But go after something long tail, like plumbing repair service or water heater repair service, or I don't know, sewer drain cleaning repair service or something like that. I know there's a few plumbing keywords that are really, really easy to rank for, like drain cleaning, commercial plus city, commercial drain cleaning plus city, sewer line repair or sewer line replacement plus city. So go after some long tail stuff, and if you need to, add a zip code to it and use that as part of your search phrase when you show them results, so that your video ranks at the top very quickly for that. You want to add to that, Hernan or Marco or anybody?
Yeah, I was thinking on the question, as a matter of fact, but yeah, I would go for something. You can go for a city that's not that competitive, that will make sense for the client. Of course, you will need to choose something that would also benefit yourself. But yeah, I would do what Bradley is saying about the redirected phone and the 301 on the description. You can get a cheap XYZ or a cheap .link domain that you can 301 it to the client website, and I will start from there, giving them results instantly. Also, usually the IFTTT networks bring results. They take a couple of weeks, depending on competition and whatnot. But the best way to go would be to rank a long tail or maybe a small city keyword. Something around the area that you're at. That's not necessarily in the the center or kind of
choose a suburb or a neighborhood or something like that.
Yeah. That would also help you add in authority. That's usually how we do things. We go from the suburb areas to the center, and I think that would be just fine, because usually clients, they just want to see results. They don't care if that's a big competitive keywords. They do not have to know. That's the whole point. You're the expert, so I think that we'll use that to your advantage.
Yeah, and you have to explain to them that the fact is that it's going to take a little bit of time to rank for the more competitive keywords. So you just wanted to show them an example that you do know and indeed know what you're doing, and that you're able to rank. And these pick longer tail stuff, but stuff that would still possibly produce a lead or two.
Right.
You know, because then there's some value there, and there's perceived value as well, and that's really what you're trying to do. Okay, we're almost out of time, and we got a shit ton of questions still. So sorry guys, but that's why.
And I think we should slide through a couple real quick. I'm not sure if you're ready to answer one of them or to keep going on this, but there's a couple up here that we should definitely at least touch on real quick.
Okay, well, I have to go with the guys that were here first and put down here because these guys posted before the event, so.
Mm-hmm.
We got to go through those because guys, that's why we encourage.
Oh no, sorry, that's what I was talking about. There's still several that posted before the event started.
Okay, yeah, we got to get to those guys. That's what we talk about. First come, first serve. If you got questions, post them ahead of time. We try to have the event page up by Friday, so that you have basically 5 days to get your questions posted. So, anyways, Bob says, "Hi everyone. I'm building hosted affiliate sites out and now building out my tier 2 blogger related networks." With other tier 2 networks regarding WordPress and Tumblr still pending. I haven't started doing my own YouTube videos yet, but I embed other people's videos regularly on everything I build. I know I will see success with your system. However, if possible, I wanted to get feedback on a ballpark estimate of how long it may take to start getting meaningful traffic that could lead to my first commissions. I mostly target lower competition keywords, minus 1 million SERP results, minus 5K in title, minus 5K in URL, and my sites are between 5 and 10 pages each. Thanks for your feedback. Bob, that's a very loaded question. I mean, it's just there's so many variables. I can tell you that consistency is key. If you set up a consistent publishing schedule to feed your networks with new content regularly, it will help considerably. If you're using your YouTube silo method, especially what we're talking about for videos, you can the more videos and the more consistency, the more frequently you publish, the faster your results will be. Okay, so there's too many variables for me there to give you a ballpark time on that, unfortunately. I would have to get much more specific details, and honestly, that's way beyond the scope of what we can answer here. However, I can tell you that just being consistent and frequent in publishing is going to make a huge difference. It's just going to take time, but you'll reach a tipping point. Once you get past that tipping point where you start to rank, then it will be so much easier because you'll rank for stuff almost every time you upload it. We have a couple networks that we use that we're able to rank stuff like damn near at will because we took the time to build them out and treat them properly and publish enough content to them to where we publish videos even for some more competitive like SEO related terms, and we're able to rank videos almost at will, and it's nice. It's nice. Okay. What are your thoughts on any tips regarding picking up expired Web 2s and high PADA, integrating them into our networks? Yeah, those are great. You can do that. There's some providers on Fiverr that you can buy like high PA bloggers and high. The DA is going to be the same, guys, because it's always the same DA for Tumblr. It's always the same DA for. So what you're looking for is high page authority stuff there, and that certainly helps. Yep. So you can buy you can find sources on Fiverr that you can purchase lists of high PA bloggers and high PA Tumblrs, and those are good sources for that. It absolutely helps.
Yeah, check TrustFlow. Most than PA, check TrustFlow. If you can find a couple of high TrustFlow providers, go for that. And if you're doing YouTube embeds, it's not really important, but if you're doing blog tier 2 embeds or tier 1, check the profiles because usually they gain those PA. That PA via spam,
Yeah.
So check the TrustFlow.
Yeah, check the backlink profile, too. That's right. Mike says, I know it's still 17 to 21 days for network setup. Did you answer this one by chance, Adam?
No, I just wanted to touch on it and just say, Mike, if you've got need some updates, if it's getting close to delivery time or you think it's after, send in an email to support and we'll give you an update. So for anybody listening, if it's the first week, if you ordered something like 5 days ago, please don't send us a support ticket because they're not going to be delivered that fast. But if it's getting close to delivery time, then by all means you can ask, and we'll try to give you an update on how long we think it's going to be.
Yeah, we had that Labor Day sale, and that we had a shit ton of a flood of orders, and we actually hired even 2 more builders to try to make up for it, so to try to handle the volume. So, obviously when we have a sale, there's a chance that the delivery time is going to be a little bit delayed because of the backlog. For the most part, though, whenever our backlog is down to normal levels, 17 to 21 days, that's actually longer than what it takes. We usually deliver a lot quicker, but every now and then when we hold a big sale, it can push the delivery times back. So if you have a specific need, Mike, and you're getting close to your 21-day turnaround time that we mentioned, just submit a support ticket, and we'll see what we can do to expedite that particular order. Okay. All right. Let me see if I can touch on a couple more real quick. Adrian says, I was wondering if you could quickly run through how to silo a partner website. Unfortunately, Adrian, I'm not going to be able to get to that today. Don't have time. When linking to a partner website, can the YouTube link go straight to an opt-in page, and if so, can the link be shortened? Yeah, you can. You can link to an opt-in page in the description. I would not do it. I would not do it inside as a clickable annotation, an external annotation, unless the opt-in page is hosted directly on the associated website domain.
Yeah,
okay,
that's against the terms of service if you don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't want to use like a redirect, for example. You can't set up an external annotation to another domain. It will only work to your own associated website that you connected in your channel. Okay, your advanced options of your channel. However, I know in the past, and I've done this in the past, where I've used a 301 redirect plugin like Pretty Links or All-in-One Redirect or whatever, and I've been able to redirect to an affiliate page or something through my own domain. However, if YouTube manually reviews and catches that, they will terminate your channel. No questions asked. You don't get a second chance. They will just suspend your channel. So I don't recommend doing that. Instead, what I would recommend doing is setting up a bridge page on your own domain, and then you could link to the affiliate offer or whatever right from there. And an opt-in page is fine, by the way. Just make sure it's hosted on your own domain. The description in YouTube has to be spun right. No, it doesn't have to be spun. I would recommend that you make them unique, but you don't have to. It's not going to hurt you if you don't. I mean, I think you get better results if it's unique, though. Let's see. Okay, so if you want to really if you're going to be doing a bunch of videos in a particular niche or an industry, I recommend that you go to Keith Goodwin at superspunarticle.com. He does a really good service there where he can get you a superspun article that can be used on. I've used it on up to 1,000 videos before, and it was still effective. I got a channel that I used one article from him that I used about 90 or 900 and some odd times, and it was still effective. So if you're going to be doing a lot, then I recommend that you do that. Lastly, I'm going to answer this real quick because I had an article for Estelle, and then we're done, guys, because sorry, but we're out of time. This is an article, Estelle, I did notice, and there's been some chatter across the web about multiple fluctuations in the last couple weeks. I have not seen much movement across my properties, but I have heard a lot of others that have. There's an article on SEO Roundtable specific about this. Barry Schwartz was the one that wrote it. It's very short. It just talks about what they've seen some movements as well. So I'll post this at the top of the events page. You can go read it and take a look for yourself. I haven't seen a lot of movement though.
Right. Moscas is showing some movement anyway. So.
Yeah. Okay, that's it, guys. Sorry, we got to run. Masterclass starts in about 2 minutes, so we'll see everybody there that is part of Masterclass. Otherwise, guys, RYS Academy. Get it now, 10% off before the coupon expires because it's full retail next Tuesday. Also, join the contest, and you may be able to win it for free. So we'll see you guys next week.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.